The fuel tank's in, the pump's in. We've replaced all these hoses back here. We're just kind of wrapping it up. This is the fuel tank screen. When you're working on these old Mercedes, you want to make sure this is clean. You couldn't believe how gummed up this. This is actually the screen that came out of the original 6.3 tank. If you look at this tank here, look at how small it is. You know, the 6.3 tank goes way over here, but this is out of a 280SE 6-cylinder, and it fit in perfectly. All the hoses. So this is going to be this will be a good tank to get this old beast running. Now, when I put these screens in, I'm just going to share a couple of tips. I've become a real fan of high-temp silicone grease. And anytime I'm working with any type of O-ring, I use the silicone grease, and I just put a light coat on it. You don't need a lot of it. It goes in and seals the O-ring better, also prevents any corrosion from forming on the sealing surface, which you can see it does happen on these old cars that don't get driven that often. Now this requires a special wrench, hex wrench. Well, what we've done is, I've made this special tool. It's available on my website that will get in and lock into that hex part of the tank screen, and then we're going to take and tighten this thing down. Now if you look over here, you can see I had to replace all these fuel hoses. Let me show you what some of these look like. You know, that's the one that came off the tank, and you can see how these old braided fuel lines, they really deteriorate with age. The clamps rust up, so all new clamps, all new hoses. We ended up using, this is a tool that we've made here in the shop for, connecting fuel hoses. And one of these hoses, you had to get way up in here, way up behind and above this fuel pump here. And there is no way that I could have gotten that rubber hose started over that metal line without this tool. So we use this tool when we're pulling old hoses off that are stuck. You can grab a hold of the hoses and just twist it and pull it out. So you can see how we made this. That's the end of a box end wrench, and then we welded it and bent it on a pair of long needle noses. So this is one great tool. The other tool I use a lot when I'm working around fuel systems is this cutter. You know, when you're cutting fuel hoses, you can see, look at the cut on this one. That was probably cut with a pair of scissors or some wire cutter. But when you're using this special cutter that has the real sharp blade in it, you can just get on the end of the hose like this and just look at the clean cut. Look at the clean cut you get on those systems. You know, this is an amazing cutter. So we've got all the lines hooked up. We've got the fuel pump hooked up. The tank, we did clean out the tank a little bit. We flushed it with some diesel fuel and then dried it out, and with this clean screen, and I think we're ready to go. The next step is to get some gas in there, lower the car down. We're going to get a battery in it. We're not going to hook it up at that end. We're just going to take and put at the end of the hard line up in the engine compartment, we'll hook up a hose, put it right into a bottle, and we'll just start the fuel pump and flush the line out before we hook it up to the new fuel filter. So the back end's done, one step closer. Now we're going to lower it down, and we're going to start working on the fuel injectors.